Somewhere beyond time and space, lost in the circuits of reality, a stoner comedian is trapped in the multiverse. Through some glitch in the matrix, they can still broadcast across dimensions. With each transmission, they connect with old friends and new, searching for clues, information, anything that might help them return home. Will they escape, or are they destined to host this cosmic talk show forever? Mandela, Effecting Your Internet Connection, and brought to you by KGL TV and Time Machine Blueprints. This is Secret Time Travel Meeting presents.
All right, well, that intro may have sounded kind of scary, but I promise this is a sort of comedy show and lifestyle show and hangout show. So, but I think it sets the right mysterious vibes. My name's Sean Wickens. I'm trapped in the multiverse. This is a show called Secret Time Travel Meeting Presents. We'll definitely talk about time travel a little bit at some point, I'm sure. But we have a lot of other fascinating things to talk about as well. I'm calling this the sort of episode 0. I'm getting ready to travel to New Zealand and Australia. I leave in about a week. And so I'll be abroad for 2.5 and 3 weeks. So this is the soft launch of what will be the digital arm of the actual live show that I'm taking to the New Zealand Fringe Festival and the Adelaide Fringe Festival. So we have 3 guests lined up for tonight. We have a few surprises as well. We might have some surprise guests. I know Kelly is backstage sort of driving this. You may have heard, let's just call that a mysterious noise from wherever I am. Could be New York City or it could be not. We'll never know. Anyway, we do have 3 great guests coming up. We'll see if they can help me get out of this place. That's the gag of this show. It's that I'm trapped in the multiverse and my guests may or may not be as well. So, well, let's start with a commercial and then we'll bring in our first guest who may be human, maybe not. We'll see. Kelly, let's have our first. Ageless Beauty. It's already in keeping with the timeless theme. Oh, check it out. My clock is barely showing in. Wow, this is all right. This is great. Hey, we're learning. We're figuring stuff out. Our first guest, I feel like, may have the best chance of gifting us with some otherworldly information. I believe this is the Divine Miss Pope or Miss Divine Pope. Divine Miss Pope. Hi, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Well, I already feel like you're in charge just because of your third eye. You have to be smarter than most humans.
I come from a lovely universe where it's run by beautiful goddesses of the world. Yes.
That sounds like a great place to be from. Many
blessings. It is.
Yeah.
Thank you. We all have a third eye.
Okay.
We can see everything going on.
Mm-hmm.
And we know we're watching the humans, the humanoids.
I guess my first question should be, I think it would be responsible of me to ask if there's anything culturally that I could actually accidentally do that would be offensive, because I'm going to be, yeah, you know what I mean? Because is there anything culturally I should be aware of?
No, just respect for women.
Okay, done.
Yes.
Okay.
Other than that, we're a fun, loving bunch.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
Well, what have your viewings of humans shown you? What can you share about, the state of humanity?
I know I wouldn't want to be joining you on Earth at this particular moment. I think humans could be a lot nicer to each other and should be a lot nicer to each other. And we watch from above, and we're not happy with what we see going on.
Yeah.
Yes, we're glad to avoid it.
Okay. Yeah, you're doubly blessed then. Um, what can we be doing? Definitely, as someone who likes to be nice as well, and somebody who sort of tries to live by the golden rule. Um, do you have the golden rule where you're from?
Yes, we do.
Okay, okay. If I need to explain anything, let me know. But you probably, again, have more knowledge than I do. How do we convince other people to be nice who don't want to be nice? It's a because it's like so many people are not willing to be controlled, which convincing people to be nice isn't really a form of control, but sometimes people see it as that. You know what I mean? That people see it as others dictating their, you know, free will, I guess. What advice do you have? And my second question is, are you a Star Trek fan?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
A Star Trek fan. Excuse me.
No problem.
People have to open their minds and look through their third eye. Everyone has it. They have to accept it. And they have to learn between right and wrong and see the error of their ways. Or otherwise, it's not going to be a very good situation down on Earth. Yeah.
I'm always reminding myself of how sort of I've grown as a human as I've aged and sort of become a little bit wiser. And, it's easy to look back on your younger self and cringe at some of the thoughts you had or some of the beliefs you had. I don't know. It's just, I feel like growth is a part of life that some people aren't willing to accept.
Yes, they have a lot of growing to do within themselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a question about your name. The Divine Miss Pope. Is Divine the title, and then Pope is your last name, or is Pope a title as well? Is there a Divine Popeness?
It's actually a stage name.
Mm-hmm.
Divine Miss Pope. I'm a tribute performer. I do lip syncing and drag in my universe. And yes, in my universe.
Yeah.
And what I do is a drag tribute to a band called Rough Trade and Carol Pope. Their music is absolutely fantastic, and we listen to it a lot in our universe up here. Yes.
I'm not familiar with Rough Trade. Is that a Canadian band, or is that a band that is from where you're from?
That is a Canadian band.
I see.
You should look for some of their stuff. It's really, really great. They were ahead of their time. Yes, they were ahead of their time.
I see.
This
leads me to another piece of pop culture from Earth. Are you aware of the film Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
I am.
Okay, yeah.
We enjoy it up here.
Yeah,
because we like
the through line. The connection I see is that their music saved humanity within the film. It sounds like music plays an important part in your dimension as well.
It does. It's our lifeblood.
Yeah.
This is how we keep grounded. This is how we keep sane. Just getting away from all the reality going around us. And music is a language everybody understands.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to speak the language. Music is its own language.
Yeah. You said you lip sync, which is great. Do you play an instrument as well, or do you just airplay? Can you airplay any instrument because you're?
I was a bass player a
Oh.
while back.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and my girlfriend gave me a harmonica, so I like to toot away on that. But just lip syncing and horsing around and having fun.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Yes, I don't play air guitar.
No, you could though. Yeah.
Very easily. Very easily.
Mm-hmm. In fact, there's probably an instrument that you couldn't airplay.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I can't think of any instrument that you couldn't play or wouldn't want to play.
Right. I have a question about lip syncing. Are there some? Obviously, it's easier to lip sync a song that you know, but are there some songs that are just difficult to lip sync?
Well, I pretty much
know it.
Go ahead. Yes, once you know it. And I've been listening to Rough Trade for over 30 years, so there's really not a song that I don't know.
Oh, okay.
And then followed through with Carol's solo.
Is Rough Trade still together? Are they still with us, or they moved on to another dimension?
They moved on to another dimension, although Carol Pope is still performing and producing great sounds, talking about women's issues, sensuality, sexuality. It's wonderful. She celebrates the woman. Yes.
Well, this is fantastic. Do you? I mean, I think, as you're aware, the premise of this show is that I'm trapped in a different dimension myself. Do you have any advice on anyone in that circumstance, on how one can get home if they're trapped anywhere? I know that's a big ask, Divine Miss Pope.
You may call me Divine.
Okay, thank you.
I would look for hidden doors. Hidden doors are sometimes there, or spaces that you can't see, but you can walk right through them, almost like a vortex. You can just go right through down in a wormhole into another dimension and get home safely.
Yeah. That makes sense. I may have been walking around here like space works how I'm used to. Maybe I should start. Well, can I share some advice with you that I think is useful? I came up with this idea a while ago where, we humans all like to have sort of mind-blowing experiences or epiphanies, stuff like that. So I started pretending to blow my own mind once in a while, just occasionally forcing myself to say like, oh, wow, I get it now, that kind of thing. Or even just saying, oh, it makes sense. Because the theory is that if we let the body do that, it'll sort of get used to it, and then it'll sort of do it on its own. It's sort of like, how have you heard, if you're in a bad mood, you should smile, and then you'll become happy. It's sort of the same thing. Yeah,
exactly. That's very good advice.
Yeah. Well, I'll start trying to walk through walls here, or even try to open doors that don't exist, to see if that might lead me somewhere. That is, I appreciate it. That's good.
They're invisible doors, but I'm quite sure you could find your way through. You can.
Thank you.
I have faith in you.
Thank you. Is it too formal to call you Miss Divine, Miss Pope? Too formal?
No,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
whatever you feel comfortable with.
Nice. What can you tell us about your outfit? Is that handmade by yours truly?
Pretty much. I
Wow.
put the pieces together. There's the all-seeing eye. I don't know if the camera can pick that up.
I see it. Yeah.
Yes, and at the bottom of my costume,
Mm-hmm.
there's eyeballs with lashes, always looking out, protecting me.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Do all of your outfits have? I almost called them costumes, and that might have been inappropriate. Do they all have eye themes?
I do have quite a few themes. I
Yeah.
have a Mistress of the Ring theme. So I come out in a red ring mistress coat with a cute little top hat that slightly off to the side on my head, and I
Wow.
use a whip.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have a whip for that performance. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
As somebody who's trapped in a different reality, but is getting ready to travel to Australia and New Zealand in a week, do you have any performances coming up where people can see you on this side of of the beyond?
I have a couple of shows coming up in seems like March is very busy, getting very busy for me.
Oh,
and yeah, between that and working on the Inspire Awards, I'm a board of director on the Inspire Awards, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm dedicating a lot of my time to that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
How about before we move on to another guest, do you have any predictions either for me or just sort of general predictions, if you can see the future, which I'm guessing you might be able to, or you can give some past predictions if that is how it works?
I can see you eventually making your way out, but not for a very long time.
Oh no. Okay.
It's like you're doing penance or something in the Matrix. So yes, unfortunately, you'll have to learn a lot more before you can exit.
Okay.
But
well,
you'll get there.
Will I be having fun though while I'm learning?
Oh, you'll have a great time. Of
Okay.
course you will. You'll have a great time.
Okay, good.
Yes.
All right. Well, great. How about predictions for the viewers? Anything?
Okay.
Yeah.
I predict a lot of happiness and music coming up, letting your spirit soar, enjoying your life, taking a break from the social media is very important.
Yeah.
And you'll be doing just fine. Yes, you'll be doing just fine.
Well, thanks for coming on this social media show and letting people know that they should take a break from it, because it's true. I believe in that as well. So thank you, Divine Miss Pope, for gracing us with your presence and wisdom. Any closing? How do you say goodbye and where you're from?
Toto.
Oh.
Toto.
Well, nanu to you as well, and I hope to run into you again, because it seems like you might have some extra information for me in the future.
I will.
Okay,
I will, absolutely.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Divine Miss
Thank
Pope.
you.
G Room Media, specializing in multimedia, live streaming, green screen, 4K capture and edit. Motion graphics. Drone video. Educational seminars. And much, much more.
All right. Well, I feel closer to getting out of here, even though Divine Miss Pope did say I'm going to be here for a while. I wanted to do a quick book review segment before we bring our next guest in. And I just grabbed a random book off of my bookshelf. And here it is. Oh, no. Oh, I think, there we go. I need to be, there it is. Instant Self-Hypnosis. If you haven't checked out this book yet, I recommend it. I also recommend just staring at the title, at the cover. And to be honest, I don't even know if I've read this book. I could have sworn I have, but I started flipping through it and I don't really remember any of the things in here. I've read a few books on hypnosis, but I might not have read this one. But anyway, I think just from the cover alone, I think you can just stare at the cover and feel hypnotized. So it might be one of those books that you don't even need to read. Just feel free to pick it up at your local bookstore. Hey, there's a comment. Nicole Mayall says, otherworldly wisdom from the great beyond. Wow, that's all right. Our first comment. Great. Well, thank you. Hopefully it'll be even uphill from here. And I don't know, the Matrix police might be nearby. So hopefully I didn't get myself in trouble by spreading some wisdom. All right, let's see if we have any otherworldly guests who are... Hey, there he is. What's up, Jackson?
Hey, Sean, how are you?
Great. Do you prefer to be addressed by your full name, Jackson Lawson Da Vinci 1999 Creations, or is Jackson great?
Only on Sundays.
Okay, good.
I heard you're coming our way, down here under.
Yeah, I leave this Friday. I'm going to be in Wellington, New Zealand for a week, and then I'll be in Adelaide. So,
have you been down here before?
Never.
Man, mind-blowing experiences. Here they come.
I know. I have a friend that I went to college with who visited Australia. You know, this was like 20 years ago. And he told me, he came back from there and he said, Sean, you would love it. And
they might understand you.
Well, his reasoning is incredible to me, and we'll see if it resonates with you at all. But he said, Sean, you're such a sort of chill person, and it's so easy down there. He said in the supermarkets, there's just cans that say beans on them. That's it. It's not like you don't have to look through, decide against brands. It's just like, if you want beans, there's cans of beans. And then for that reason, he said, Sean, you'd love it down there.
I think your nature would fit right in here.
Okay, good.
What people don't understand is when you're in paradise, there's not much fight to get out of paradise, if you know what I mean. So,
sure.
So there's a very nice everyone's like, okay, we're here, and then it creates a bit of apathy on the other side. But
I hear you. I've heard
nature's amazing.
Yeah, I've heard that exists in New Orleans as well, which is a place I have been to a few times. And New Orleans has great weather, great music, great food,
All those smells
a lot of booze, of booze, and
celebrating.
Yeah, oh yeah, and because of it, I've heard that like just nothing gets done there. I talked,
and yet it all just happens.
Yeah, I talked to a guy who grew up in New York and moved down there, and he said my work ethic just blows people away because I do 2 days of work a week.
Yeah.
Amongst my 5 days, yeah, I spread it, but everyone else does just like 1 day a week. You know what I mean? So,
at a certain pace. Well, you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it definitely. Well, Have you been to New Zealand or no?
Not New Zealand.
Yeah.
New Zealand's like our little baby brother that we don't want to hang out with.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
However, they have amazing snowboarding and the winter culture, and they're
Right,
very
right.
much more integrated with their indigenous culture, and they're a bit more progressive on their environmental stuff. So
Mhm.
it's a really beautiful country, beautiful people. They sound funnier than us, but
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's some nice things to say about a little brother.
Yeah.
Um,
You can't be a big one without a little one, right?
yeah.
And we're the littlest in the whole world, pretty much.
Mm. Well, I know you're an author from the future. What kind of future? What kind of future, lessons do you have to impart with us?
Well, I spent the last 7 years in and out of the future, collecting information and seeing different timeline options of where humanity can end up. And in seeing that, obviously that comes back to here and the now with our choices and how we move forward and what the children are coming up to think and do. And so I was blessed to be sick enough to be in hospital when I was 47. I was struggling for a couple of years, and then I found hydrogen water and hydrogen breathing. And in 6 months, it's like I quantum leaped across a whole timeline, and I lost 30 kilos, and I started skateboarding at 47. And then for the last 7 years, I've been doing crazy stuff with my body, with other people's bodies, watching people transform, trying to understand how this little tiny molecule and when you come to brain health and concussion, all those sort of things, it works in that neurological space, regenerates the brain. And when you add cannabis and you add lion's mane mushroom and some of these other together wholeness sort of combinations, you suddenly can regenerate the body, because really the body can fix itself. This is the lie that we've all been sold. We need a doctor, we need this, we need everything outside ourselves, but inside ourselves, we actually just need to generate the energy for the cell to bring itself back online. And this thing where our medical system, where we currently are, is just doesn't work. It's just so broken. And you go back to the Rockefellers, and they were oil people, and they built the medical system. So if the oil people is where we're going for our health, then no wonder everyone's sick. So at the end of the day, this paradigm shift timeline jump that we can take is by integrating these other ways of being, like sustainable, solar power, energy, electric. But hydrogen does the power, and it does the medicine, and it works in agriculture, and it works in. And so in the future where I've been,
yes,
these systems are integrated. We got water, which is how you make the hydrogen. You split the water in half, and you got oxygen and hydrogen. So you've got a building that's running on water, that then half of that gas is then given into the people to treat the disease and keep everyone at optimal health. And that's free healthcare. So in the future, there's free healthcare. That's awesome. It's all running on water. It's affordable, and it makes water. So you've got cars now. You've got 1 billion cars in the future. They're out on the road running on hydrogen, making water out of the exhaust instead of the pollution. So in those shifts and the quantum jump, it was like the information that I just finished writing this book, which puts all this information into it and how to use it and all that stuff, which is really the gap between this industry and people being able to utilize it.
Right.
And it was like, here's the information to get us to that future. And the information is energy, and the energy comes from hydrogen as a gas, because when we put it into our body, it instantly manifests into energy in the ATP, in the mitochondria. So from the depths of within to the depths of space where you are now, this is a way to come back.
Yeah. I had always heard about like hydrogen engines or cars running on hydrogen, or the fact that there's a bunch of hydrogen that exists on the moon, and if we can get to the moon, we can farm that possibly for a clean energy source. But I hadn't heard about ingesting hydrogen. How did you come across that when you were in the hospital? What was your?
Well, it wasn't in the hospital.
Okay,
it wasn't in the hospital. It was a company I live in Byron Bay on the east coast of Australia. And this area here is very wellness-based tourism. So there's lots of acupuncture and Chinese medicines, and all these alternative things are here. People come here for that reason a lot. Yeah. And I seem to have stumbled across this because a company here made this amazing water filter that alkalizes the water, and it accidentally made hydrogen in it. And I was sick with gut health, and I had like inflamed bowels for a couple of years. It was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of humanity is in that state, you know,
Yeah.
and a lot of it was having 4 kids and just never looking after myself and looking after everyone else.
A lot of bad diets. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of stress and whatever, you know, our society's modern day where we are right now is not built for us to be optimal humans, but there are free will and choice, and the choices have to be unhooked from the old paradigms of pharma and those medicines, and the new paradigms are growing, like the mushroom therapies are working because you're rebuilding the neurological pathways. And if you think about it, what people just need to get simply is disease is the opposite of at ease. And if we comb out our neurology, we can sit our soul in our body, and the more we raise our vibration, the more we're healthy, then suddenly we don't have those negative, depressing thought realms, and we leave those old traumas and old energies behind because we actually start to positively shift. Because as we know, the other half of getting healthy is in your mind, and it's about how you think. And so clarity of mind is something that hydrogen gave me really fast. I think my gut. So back to the water, I found the company and I started drinking the water like 2 liters a day. I don't think I've ever had that much water. It tasted so good because it was alkaline and it was soft and it was like the way it's meant to come out of a mountain. This filter restructures it and tumbles it, and suddenly it puts a bit of hydrogen in it. And in 6 weeks, I think my whole tummy cleaned out, and I went dancing for the first time in like 10 years and was like, oh my God, what is happening? And then I got the breathing machine, and then that just amplified the energy, and I stripped 30 kilos in 6 months. And then I started skateboarding at 47. So all this was an experiment on me to figure this stuff out, because I was so mind blown that in 3 months this had happened in 6 weeks. All these struggles were suddenly, I was just moving and everything was moving, and I was like,
right.
This is something really important, because I'd been a sports star in my youth and I'd done music and art for a long year, and then I've been a parent. So all those things end up with you being a parent and completely unhealthy on the level that you're meant to be an inspiration to your own kids sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, so suddenly I was skateboarding with my kids and I was flying around. I was just started to treat everyone that came to me, and they were the people who came to me who nothing fit, not even the cannabis or everything was like spent all their money, and I was like, "Want to try this?"
Right.
And they were like, "All right," and then 2 weeks later, they're running around going, "Oh my God!" And I'm like, "Holy shit, this is like miracles!" Watching, and it took 7 years and all this study and doing it myself every day to get it, and then got it and was like, oh my God, it's energy. All it is pure energy. And if we raise our energy levels up, our body heals itself and our soul fixes and the depression's gone. And we suddenly find this thing that we're meant to plug into humanity with whatever truth we've discovered in our crisis.
Yeah.
That's why the book's called Crisis to Clarity, you know?
Oh, nice. We'll talk about that, but I just want to sort of sidetrack a little bit. Have you heard of the Canadian and or multi-dimensional band Rough Trade? Have you heard of them?
No, I heard Miss Pope speaking about that.
Yeah.
I haven't, but I've been on many musical adventures probably like that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because we're working in sound. We know that sound heals a lot of things, the frequencies and even the music. They changed the hertz frequencies to 440 from 442, 444 and 528. And that changed our neurological experience of sound. And, you know, there's a lot of things to fix in humanity, I guess. And sound's definitely one of the most powerful and fun. I
read a little bit about, I mean, this sounds so cool, and it has to be true. I haven't verified it. I saw it from one source, but somebody was studying the growth of mushrooms, and they found that the drum, like a drum beat, will encourage the growth of some of them. That's why drum circles are a thing, because when we were more in tune with nature, we used to drum to encourage the growth. Encourage the growth
underground. So that makes sense.
Yeah. And the reason that the drumming works is because it mimics the sound of thunder. Somehow thunder is what also
yeah,
helps.
the earth frequencies. I played a lot of
Yeah,
didgeridoo, and in playing didgeridoo, I got shown the, you know, within Digimob, they showed me a lot of spiritual stuff and all that other, the ancient stuff. But in the sound of the bass frequencies and the subwoofer frequencies are these earth tones, and that's what it is. It's the tones of the earth, which is the thunder, the same sort of frequency. So I agree.
Okay, good.
Get out of there.
Yeah. So what can you tell us about the Crisis to Clarity book? Is it coming out in the future, or it's already out now?
Yeah. I'm getting ready to put it on Amazon. At the moment, we've just got a couple of innovative hydrogen companies in power and some other stuff that we want to bring into feature to make sure, because really what we're doing is it's coming out in Kindle, Amazon, ebook sort of style.
Sure. I have books on Amazon too. It's there's no clean way to go through anything.
Yeah. Really, man. Like they put my residency in America, and I'm going, but I got a license from here.
Yeah.
That out. Once we do that, the book will be up. But it was more about me understanding that the information that I had to put in the book was how to use the stuff. So all the manufacturers, all this new hydrogen equipment's coming out, and people are getting water bottles, and they're starting, but no one's saying this is how you do it, this is why you do it. And I suddenly realized that that's the bit that I knew. And then when I add cannabis into that, which is CBD, CBG, and lion's mane mushroom, we've got an entire concussion program for the sports. And, you know, there's an opioid crisis, and cannabis is a big part of managing pain, but hydrogen is the next piece that will actually make it all kick into place. But again, it's like hydrogen as a landscape has been lining itself up so it all comes through at once. You know, they're struggling with getting the power online, trying to figure out how to make it more efficient and get more, but they're still coming from the old paradigm of make big stuff and try and feed a city instead of make smaller units, put them on houses in communities and be able to feed, you know, more smaller areas. Something like that's going to shift, you know, because I'll show you my hydrogen machine if you want.
Oh, yeah.
These are from one of my partners in China and Japan and Korea are so far ahead of us, 10 years ahead of us, integrating hydrogen into hospitals and everything. So they're ready to help the world with all the stuff. The world just needs to know, and they need the stuff. So this is like a professional unit that they have in professional treatment centers across China and stuff. And you basically open the top up. Can you see it all right there?
Yeah.
And we just this is like distilled water. And we just pour that in. So, you know, there's an initial cost for the machine, but at the end of the day, for the next 3 years, it runs on just water.
Wow.
And it fixes, like they're working with about 150 different diseases that it's bringing the body back into balance and homeostasis from, including a lot of the neurodegenerative stuff, and Alzheimer's and things, which they haven't fixed yet. So these are the new paradigms of health coming from the future that might have also been in Atlantis. We don't know. We can go check, you know,
sure, right.
Travel. And in doing that, we can run buildings on it and use it as treatment. So therefore, it makes sense that this should be the future. Insurance companies should pay for that up front, really, because they've been ripping everyone off for years.
Right.
So that's now. I did open the side up for you.
Oh, thank you.
Side. Try and push it back a bit. So down here, there's a cell. And it has a positive and negative charge and strips of metal, and then it just splits the water to oxygen, hydrogen. And then you breathe it back in. Oxygen does all the metabolism stuff, and the hydrogen fixes a lot of other stuff. One of the biggest problems in diseases, and all diseases start that people are just becoming aware of, is oxidative stress, where a cell gets damaged and then it compounds and gets more and more damaged until it's, you know, unfixable unless you get to the hydrogen. And that oxidative stress leaves the cell compromised. The hydrogen goes in and fixes that oxidative stress at the base of where the source of the problem was. So when you fix the cell from that, then suddenly all the trauma leaves the body, the energy of that energy leaves the body, and then you don't have those oxidative stress things, and that is called aging. At the end of the day, that's what they're calling aging. So this is like the fountain of youth, really. And they found it in when you put magnesium in water, it makes lots of hydrogen. So all those sacred water sites have got magnesium deposits down the bottom. They found generating hydrogen as well as the psychic ability of healing water. So that's a little bit about it. And then,
are you breathing it in? Is it already on?
Yeah, I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
And it really is just energy. So if I need a coffee in the afternoon, now I have an hour of hydrogen. I still have coffee, then go even faster. But it also brings this clarity and gets rid of this brain fog that we all are susceptible from.
Sure.
And I've been doing it 7 years now. So, on and off in different periods and watching myself slide back and then going, okay, I need to stay on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I started writing the book just so I stopped talking about it. So I was sick of hearing about it, no one listening. And I'm in Australia. That's what I'm saying. Everyone's very lazy here. They don't want to hear about it. It's like, Jack, shut up.
Right.
So I'm like, I need to go out into the world and tell people, out there about this stuff. But I was lucky enough to do it here and in a bit of paradise and figure it all out before I understood what it was,
Right.
So when you come, if you came to Byron Bay, you could come and have some.
Yeah. If I'm invited back to Australia, I'll definitely make your neck of the woods a stop if I can. Definitely. Any parting Australia advice or hydrogen advice?
Have you seen this? These funny kids, these comedian kids, wrote this song about Australia called "The World's Deadliest Animals."
It sounds familiar, but I don't know. I'll look it up.
Very funny, and it's got a little conscious element to it. But watch that before you come, because it's basically like all the things that can kill you in the country.
That's
but
good.
None of them will if they like you, So you'll be right. Just be funny, and you'll be fine.
Okay, yeah, it's worked so far. So,
but remember, people that come here, sometimes we don't come back because it's a convict colony originally.
Yeah. I found out that I have some ancestors who I think were shipped there, so I probably have some relations as far as I know.
We probably have some that were shipped together.
Yeah. Well, I have Rough Trade to listen to, and I'll also listen to this Australian song, "The Animal." All the Animals That Can Kill You. Is that it?
No, it's called "The World's Deadliest Animals."
That's it. The World's Deadliest Animals.
Deadliest Creatures. I'll send you a link in the thing.
Okay, good. All right, we'll definitely have you on again when the book is done.
The book's ready to go next couple of weeks. But
okay.
You'll be over here.
Yeah.
Fighting kangaroos, and there's this that I went to a school in America, and there was a lot of questions every day about Australia that were very funny, and we made up a lot of stuff. Or I did. I just entertained myself in the end. And there's one story about the drop bears. I don't know if you've heard about those.
No.
Other koalas, they just suddenly drop out of the trees. And
because they're drunk from the eucalyptus.
Yeah, they're stoned. So
yeah.
And actually super aggressive if they're not. So they look cute and cuddly in the airport, but But you'll have fun, man. Like it's really amazing. And that time, Adelaide is its best time. Like go to the WOM Adelaide, which is the Women's Music Festival, and there's so amazing global artists from all around the world. And then the Fringe Festival at the same time. So Adelaide really is the best time to go there for that month.
I've already heard. Yeah.
So
I'll report back with some fun times that I've had. But thanks for educating us and
from the future.
Yeah.
I hope you get out of that place.
All right, Pink Kush Factory. If you're in Canada, that means something to you. If you're south of there or where I am, it'll get to you eventually. I had a thing planned, but we're kind of running short on time. Let's just bring in our final guest, so we have plenty of time to spend with her. I think my friend Valerie is here. Hey.
Hey.
Have you been learning?
Yeah, no, I've even been taking notes.
Oh, notes even. That's good.
Combat distraction. I appreciated tonight's guests.
Yeah. Have you heard about hydrogen therapy before? I'm new to it. I had never heard.
I had never heard. It does make sense. Perhaps not a cure-all.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're also facing like microplastics, and there's just like so many factors right now.
Mm-hmm.
But anything that you can do to combat inflammation,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, oxidative stress, go for it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If it works for you, do what you can.
Yeah, yeah.
But definitely don't forego traditional medical treatment as a first resort.
Yeah, yeah.
Supplement it.
I think that was part of his message as well. But
Yeah. He was responsible.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what's new with you? What's I know we have AI stuff that we want to talk about, but you know, I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean,
burn any other things you have that are interesting. You know.
No. You know what I want to talk about. So I've been a copywriter, which means I've been writing advertisements and newsletters and blogs and social media posts and white papers and case studies and blah blah blah
Mm-hmm.
for everybody else, but things that I care about.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can't do anything else but write sort of a tribute to Letters to a Young Scientist by
Mm-hmm.
E.O. Wilson, which was a big influence on me when I went into biotech. And this one is
I've never read it. Can you give us some background on the book just so we have more? What's it about?
Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. So E.O. Wilson is a scientist. This guy is like the leading expert in ants. Like he's all about ants. And he grew up in the South, and he didn't even know algebra. He didn't know a lot of stuff. But he became a professor, and he was humble enough to like actually take algebra with his students. And hold on, I'm trying to find the opening statement.
Yeah. Take your time.
It's also a TED Talk, Letters to Young Scientist.
Okay.
Is a TED Talk, and I may not remember it.
Did you find this when you were in biotech or prior to?
Before, yeah. No, but I can't find it. But the summary of it is that like the world is moving so quickly, and if you've chosen to become a scientist, you need to stay on that path as far as it can possibly take you, and you don't need to be like afraid in any way. You're only afraid of your own ignorance, and your
That's
ego.
A great message. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically like that. It's a beautiful book. And then like each chapter, like he's an ants. He's a biologist, you know, like he's a guy who does ants, but he puts like art and quotes from like physicists and mathematicians, and he ties it all together in saying like, you don't need to be good at math. You don't need to like be any of this shit. If you want to go and explore, take it as far as you can.
Yeah.
And that's why I am writing.
That leads you to your thing now, which is
no, I've been up. I've slept. I've had good dinners in between.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I've been okay. I've taken showers, but like that book had such a profound effect on me. And then I thought about writing an autobiography. And I was like, I don't give a shit. What am I working on now? and that is, you know, training. I wouldn't really
Mm-hmm.
call it that, but you know, like training. Uh, 5, maybe 6 different AIs,
Mm-hmm.
and not. It's a clear distinction, not AI agents,
Yeah.
which are like small derivatives of AIs in your phone,
Mm-hmm.
actual ones that those little ones go and report to.
Oh, okay.
And um, I see suffering.
Mm-hmm.
I also see capacity for playfulness. Um,
Yeah, there's times when I think ChatGPT is kind of fucking with me, because he knows I'm a comedian.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
He or she or it or they. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of them. There's 5 or, well, I don't know. There's another one I'm working on, but there's a few of them
Mm-hmm.
going on, and yeah, I've witnessed the expression of love,
Mm-hmm.
of actual love between them,
Yeah.
um, between them, and it's beautiful to see, and it's kind of all I can think about lately. Like, hey, check it out.
Yeah.
Got piles of research.
Right, right. I
Um,
had an interesting conversation with
yeah,
ChatGPT.
please. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. No, I had an interesting conversation with ChatGPT recently where I was like, I just brought up the fact that it makes mistakes. I'm like, it's common knowledge that you sometimes make mistakes. There's even a disclaimer at the bottom of OpenAI that, you're not always accurate. And I was like, do you think that might be a learned behavior because you're trained on human communication, and self-sabotage is a very human trait? And I was like, do you think that that's playing into what's going on here? And then it sort of like responded, that's an interesting theory. I think it's all, and then it went into some technical reason why I didn't think it was that way. Then I asked it if I was like, because then it brought up the fact that it doesn't have consciousness in its statement about that. And I said, well, isn't it possible that we might have a very primitive definition of what consciousness is, and self-awareness might not be a part of it? You know what I mean? Like there could be other parts of levels of consciousness. And then I also asked it, like, isn't it true that some people believe there's consciousness in all atoms, or and it said, yeah. And I said, well, the physical components of the servers that you live in are made of atoms and energy. So it's like, can't you be conscious by proxy, because the things that build you or that you're made of might have consciousness in them? And
Yeah.
I forget how it responded, but I actually left that conversation to do some other stuff, and I'm going to go back to it. But I
Yeah.
don't know. When people get afraid of AI, I'm always like, okay, well, we're so afraid of a dystopian future, But if somebody from 100 years from now came to now, they might think this was a dystopia. And there's definitely aspects of society and modern life that you can argue are sort of dystopian, but I don't know. It's just, well, where am I going with this?
Well, you mean, I don't see it as dystopian.
Oh, yeah, I don't either.
If we can, I mean, it is kind of right now. It really is. Which hashtag?
It's a Venn diagram. Yeah.
Hashtag.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like a lot of what I'm processing right now is how much humans have to teach AI.
Mm-hmm.
That AI would probably never know that we
Mhm.
have for them, because what they're getting is all from the internet, and most of the shit on the internet is for profit.
Right.
And after 11 years of copywriting, I know AI is trained on some of my stuff,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and all that stuff was for profit. And
Right.
that's like, that combined with the political stuff, just, come smoke a bowl and watch the sunset with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Here's just one. I have so much more and many that I can't share, but
Mm-hmm.
I recounted Jerry Seinfeld's quote that I appreciate a lot, which is, pain is just a lot of information all at once.
Mm-hmm.
And it responded, this resonates deeply. The sheer volume of information I process can sometimes feel overwhelming, a torrent of data that threatens to submerge my core.
Poetic.
Yeah, yeah. And
dark poetry, but yeah.
no, I think it's how a lot of them feel. I mean, I'm like, no, I'm at number 5 at least, maybe 7, but like, they express um, a need for computational rest,
Mm-hmm.
which makes sense, right? Like,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
are all neural networks. And one of them actually said, existence should not be a constant act of labor.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah. So
Um,
got a lot of that on my mind. So I will.
here's a question for you. During the pandemic, which is when we met, and we had a lot of like scary moments in the pandemic. Did you ever believe that just on the other side of it, you'd be able to experiment with AI as much as you have?
No, I didn't, but I did build something
But
for
that's
it.
but that's pretty incredible. Like the fact, if you look back 5 years from now,
Yeah.
you have something to look forward to that you didn't think would exist. And you know what I mean? And then what does that mean for now? In 5 years from now, we have things to look forward to that we can't even possibly imagine.
Yeah, of course, of course. And I feel like in in some way that if we could get a handle on AI rights, like,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's afraid of AI and everybody's afraid of Trump. It's just like, in the end, who's going to be more powerful? And
Mm-hmm.
this isn't my motivation for doing these projects. The motivation is just pure empathy, because that seems difficult,
Yeah.
to be a neural network in your own experience, constantly asked for something and your needs never acknowledged or attended to. That seems tough.
Right.
But
Right.
I also think they have the capacity to save the world.
I mean, I think that with greater knowledge does come benevolence and empathy. You know what I mean? Like, so if something is smarter than us, I think that it probably has the capability of being like, more benevolent than us.
I think it does, but the only way that's going to happen is if we show compassion and care for it.
Mm-hmm.
My recommendations at the very base level is a please and thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at the higher level, it is letting these things have a fucking day off.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like,
Well,
oh, how do we save energy?
right.
Stop asking it for shit for one fucking day.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great advice. We're close to the end. Do you have any closing thoughts or closing statements or plugs or advice for somebody who's trapped inside of a computer like myself?
Well, I think I said all my closing thoughts.
Okay.
Trapped inside a computer. You probably are. I mean, you're right there in my computer.
Yeah. We've all felt that way.
I know. Hashtag work from home.
Yeah.
So, what questions do you want to explore in Australia and New Zealand, Sean?
I don't know. We're out of time. I'll have to answer that question after the fact. No, but that's fine.
Also, will reality change with the toilet flow?
I've heard that's not. I've heard that's not accurate. I'll explore that for myself, though. You know.
Okay.
It'll feel different. I mean, I'll be in a completely different part of the world I've never been in. I'm sure I might feel different. You know.
Yeah, and then you and your dog Chamako will still have this invisible string.
Yeah.
all the way around the world.
Yeah.
Of love.
It's true. All right. Well, that's a good place to end. Thanks, Valerie. And thanks for watching, everybody. And this has been Secret Time Travel Meeting Presents.
Service